Hello, welcome. Let's get on with this so we can get out and do some of that. Today I just want to show you what I've been doing in the last week, and that's basically just disassembling the bike some more, cleaning it up because it's filthy, as you'll see, and really just getting to know the bike more, taking things off. We had such a good result with the exhaust last week. You know, maybe there's other things we could have a bit of a win on, but really it's just to give it a good clean. So first of all, we'll just have a look at some disassembly of the bike, and then cleaning it, which I used the old petrol for, which is alright in its way, but it hasn't done the best job. But let's have a look at that first, and then we'll see what it's left us with.
Okay, I've brought you in a bit closer because things are starting to get a bit more complicated now, just taking this apart to get on with cleaning it. The batteries come out, and here's all the electronics that were stuck to the outside. So I'd really like to get this plastic assembly off. Around here we've got quite a few bolts, and there's one hiding up in here I can see. So this isn't actually the airbox. The airbox is sort of beside this compartment, but it's not all one piece. Alright, so that's quite loose. But it's fastened at the front. Is this all part of the same? Let's undo this one. For what looks like a deceptively simple bike, there sure are a lot of electrical connections. Okay, we've got the Allen screw just in there. Oh, right size. I wonder what the chances are of getting these back in the same order. Oh, okay. It looks like there may be even another sub-plastic assembly. Ah, so that was just the toolbox slider. Okay. Let's put those bolts with that. So this is definitely fixed to the front here. Another electrical connector. Now I think that should have been clipped onto something, but it obviously wasn't. Ah, there it is, that little tooth. Now is that lift or is it pull? God, these are so fiddly. Ah, right. Yeah. Push down on the tooth and pull. Oh, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's a zip tie there. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's undo this one. There's a couple of relays there. Quite a few of these shanked bolts. Shanked, not shacked. Is that it? Feels like it, but how's it going to come out? Backwards? I think backwards is more likely than not. Like we were talking about design earlier, there's certainly a lot of design trying to make this all fit. We haven't wasted one bit of space. So much so that it's not coming out. Okay, does the airbox have to come out first? Yes, I reckon it does. Let's just do that. Let's loosen that. And I think that'll make everything easier. You still see? The only reason this is all coming out, in case you're wondering, is just to clean. You can see the how dirty it is, and that's been a running theme, isn't it? It's only when this comes out we'll really be able to give that a good cleaning. Okay. Airbox is pretty loose. Looks like an Allen key fitting. Just to remove the connection to the throttle body. It looks like quite a small one. Let's try that one. Okay, you can see we've got a breather and a cable tie just there. I have to try and remember where these all go. Check it out. Okay, small breather to the top. Oh, another electrical connection. easy. A large breather at the bottom. Here we are, got a little bit of mayonnaise in there. So that's recirculating the oil vapours. There we go. Let's have a look inside there. Regulator rectifier. Throttle body. It's like the butterfly on an old carburetor. There's the ABS pump. And what's that? What's that? It's quite a chunky device. Ah, that's the starter solenoid, I think. Yeah, battery in. Starter motor power out. Trigger wire off to the and starter motor connection. Okay, let's see if that plastic carrier will come out now. Ha ha ha! There we go. That's where the rear mudguard was, or the wheel. A spider. Starter solenoid. That's well hidden. I hope that doesn't fail often. What an intricate bit of design. Okay, that's what we're left with. There's that starter solenoid. Solenoid. It's a metal mount for the battery compartment, basically. Regulator rectifier. Should I take that off? Yes, let's take it off. We're getting quite a large collection of bolts now. That's one of those connections we just undid. It's basically with the regulator rectifier. You've got the output from the bike's generator. 3-phase. Sorry. So 3-phase electric in. rectified DC power out. I'm guessing the two thick ones are the main DC out. That's the two smaller ones, perhaps are monitoring. Let's take that all the way off. Just got a cable tie in there. It's an interesting connector. How does that work? I think that pulls and slides all the way out. No, not all the way out. Ah, it does have to come further. There you go. Main three-phase generator output from the engine. Reg. Now, I don't want to take too much off this bike because when you take a bike apart too much, it can be quite hard to get it back together again. Not hard as in technically, but just bikes in bits tend to remain in bits. That's something I've learnt. So I want to clean it and put it back together and not have all this stuff laying around. If only because it helps not to forget where it goes. This is the rear caliper output from the ABS pump. Yeah, because I'm definitely not going to be stripping all this wiring out. I don't think that would be a good idea at all. Because there's a lot of wiring. There's a lot of connections. Have I done enough to clean it? Because I definitely don't want to take the ABS pump out because I don't want to disturb all the hydraulics. Because that would mean rebleeding the whole thing, and I don't want to do that. I might just undo this earth clamp though, because that's stopping this cable pulling out. I've used so many tools now I don't know where they are. There it is. I didn't really expect that to be hand tight. It was worth a try. That's the back of the starter motor. By the way, it makes a good earth for the battery. I think that will pretty much do. Right, let's make some space, get this cleaned up. I expect that was a very short time lapse for you, but that was a really arduous afternoon. I'd forgotten how hard it was cleaning bikes. I haven't really taken a bike to bits and tried to clean it up for a long time. And you forget how hard all those nooks and crannies are just to get the brush in. I was absolutely done in. Look at all this filth that's come out, and that's just some of it. Usually expect that on a bike about 10 years old, but for a bike 1 or 2 years old, I just can't work out how it got so filthy. Now it's a lot better, and it looks a lot better on camera for you than in real life, I think. And the petrol's done a good job of getting rid of the heavy dirt. But as you can see, it's still got this horrible brown and residue, the same as when I got it. It's not awful, but it's just like a really thick wax. The bike's lovely underneath it, but it's really hard to clean. So today I got some foam degreasant, so we're going to cover it in this foam degreasant, and then we're going to try it out, and we're going to give it a good wash with water. I just balanced that there. That's still quite open. But the petrol did a good job of this, really. Like I say, all the big solid residues are gone. So not bad, but hoping we can clean this off now. It's sort of got a film on it from where the petrol evaporated, but it's clean under there. So we're going to cover it in this foam degreasant now. Just see how good we can get it. I'll cover up the ports. We need to get this much better, don't we? Right, let's get it on. Okay, let's see how this goes. So we've got a foam engine degreasant. I've covered up the electrics. And basically, we're going to let the bike have it, let it sit for 5 minutes, and clean it off. Oh well, can't say it's not doing anything. It smells really strong. I think that's good. Must be really good and poisonous. Actually, that's really strong. Okay. Yeah, I'm spraying it all over the brakes because I don't care, because all those pads are getting replaced. Right. Let's get some water and rinse this off. Slightly cold feet now. Right, let's get that water. Rinsed off. I think it's a lot better, but we're not going to know until we've until it's dried off, really. So let's wait for that. While that's happening, I'll show you a couple of things. The chain is just in the worst condition. Look at that link. That link, it won't even bend. And it's amazing the bike seemed to ride as well as it did. So with the new chain, that's going to be so much better. Now it's very oily, so you know, don't know what kind of life it's had. But look at it. Look, it's totally seized. So that's only fit for the bin. I get a complete chain and sprocket kit. Otherwise it will just wreck the new chain. And if you just look, you can see the teeth are just slightly hooked. So not terribly worn, but ruined. That's good, because it'll just look nicer to have a new sprocket, and a front one, of course, which would have been easier to undo when the chain was on, but we'll work around that. So, new service kit, new filters, brake pads, chain and sprocket. It might be cheaper to buy a new one. All the stuff I've replaced, but that just means it's going to be good. Right. Let's give this 5 minutes to dry off, and we'll have a look what we're left with. There you go. Well, we've dried it off, and it's a lot better. Have a look by that caliper. You can see the writing's actually silver now, and the legs are nice matte black. It's actually pretty shiny, but it's not quite good enough, because you can see, look down in there, it's just not getting, I don't know if you, it's just not getting clean. And under there, it's a lot better, it's nearly there. The head is the right colour now. And up on the bars. Doesn't look so scummy. But again, down in here, still pretty filthy. And up. Just up under there. Basically everywhere my fingers won't fit. But we've come this far, so I figured let's not stop. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop the engine cradle. It's this part of the frame underneath which holds the foot pegs, gear change, and the brakes the other side. It isn't a structural part of the bike. As such, it doesn't hold the engine in. In fact, a Hunter doesn't even have this bit. On a Hunter, the engine just hangs from this part of the frame, and it hangs at the back. And a Hunter doesn't have this bottom part at all. And I assume its footrests are fitted to something back here. But as I said the other day, the Hunter is a different frame. It absolutely is a different frame. I bet it's identical at the front because it has to fit the same engine. But these parts on a Hunter are shorter, absolutely for definite. So I'm going to drop that off and then we can clean properly. Okay, so the footrest assembly is all attached to that cradle. So the only thing we have to take off is the gear change linkage. And the front is horizontal at the moment. So we'll just remember that. And usually you've got to remove these bolts all the way because of safety. There's a round cutout, and if that bolt's in, even if it's loose, it can't come off because the bolt is sitting in that groove. So even if that's loose, as long as it's in, it can't come off. Okay, let's look at the other side. Obviously it's slightly more complicated this side because we've got the brake rear master cylinder is attached to it. But I think we should just be able to unbolt that. Now at the front here, I'm wondering if that's just going to be a sort of a push fit in its socket. Let's have a look. No, it's definitely bolted. Oh, there's a clip. I don't know if you can see that. If I'm going to pop that little horseshoe clip up. That's cute. It's on a hinge. I'll get you a better view of this in a sec. Oh, there we are. There's a clevis. So basically, that fitted over the brake pedal. The pin went through to secure it. And then that just folded around. Clipped onto itself. And there you go. That actuates your brakes. Lovely. Pop that safe. So the fluid from the reservoir goes into the cylinder, and it's just like a syringe. Push that fluid out of there through the ABS pump and off to the caliper. Hey, that was pretty easy. So we've got, looks like a large 3-bolt at the front and 2 at the rear. Let's just pop them back in there, because it would be nice that the brakes had the correct bolts back in. Let's look at the front. Nope. Nope. So my set, oh, it's in the wrong order. That's why. 14mm. And we should look at the nut side first. Ah, but that's not a 14. Not a 15. Nope, not even the 16. Great, it's never nearby when you want it, is it? Look at that, my socket's lost a screw. To be careful with that. We'll give it a little try anyway. It's nice and easy. If you've ever worked on old bikes, you know how these bolts can seize in the engine and you just can't get them out. Right, 2 at the rear. Oh, I can't get that on, look. Try 12. Okay, looks like a captive nut for that. Of course, it's getting stiffer and stiffer because the back of the bolt has got all the dirt on it. Come on. So it's free at the back. Now, the only problem is my axle stand is in there. Is that going to stop me getting it out? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's free, but I can't get it out, so I just got to lift the bike up and use 3 arms. Somehow I'll get that out. How do I get myself in this mess? Hey, there you go. It's on its way to being a hunter now. And there is the Meteor cradle. That was really quick and easy. That's going to make cleaning a doddle. Yeah, look at all that dirt I just couldn't get to before. Much easier for you hunter owners. You can just clean this whenever you want. Excellent. Right, let's get to that. Hola! Well, it's the next day. I'm pretty happy with how this has gone now. I spent pretty much all week doing this, and it's not very exciting, but it had to be done. So let's have a look where it's at now. It's looking, I mean, this is probably how clean all yours look right now, but getting this clean, it's been a bit of a trial. There's a few little bits just to clean out, but as a thing, it's looking pretty good. Taking that cradle off was a necessary thing, I think, so I just wouldn't have been able to get under there. Weirdly, now I've cleaned this up, you can see quite a bit of rust on the front of here, and I think that's stones and water being thrown up by the front wheel, and obviously just hitting there. So if you got a Meteor and you live in the UK or anywhere else with salt, maybe crawl under there and pop a bit of paint or grease on that bit. Although the rest is pretty clean. And that's about as disassembled as I want to take it, I think. I don't want to disturb all the ABS pump. That's all the pressurized hydraulic circuit. Well, it's not pressurized now, but I don't want to disturb it and let air into the system. And there's no reason to anyway. I could probably clean a little bit behind it, but only a small thing. So it's looking pretty clean. I think there's a way to get these off by sort of flossing behind it and using a bit of heat, so we'll better have a look at that. But otherwise, things are looking pretty clean. It would have been a lot easier to take this nut off when the chain was on, because that would have held it in place. So I might just have to stick the chain on and hold it down with my foot, just so I can get the sprocket off and replace it. There's the throttle body for the fuel injector. That the fuel injector there? Yeah. There's the fuel injector, I'm certain. Yeah, because there's the input from the high pressure fuel pump. That'll be the trigger for the fuel injector. Injector, throttle body. There should be a butterfly valve in there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can just see, so when you turn the throttle, that opens the butterfly. If you've got one of those DNA filter covers, that's where all the noise is coming from. Well, that's suction noise from the engine. Very compact and well packed. There's the coil. There's the evaporation canister. I think, not the breather filter. And that goes off to the air box to suck in all your engine oil fumes and burn them again in the engine. So there we are, that was this week's mission. I guess we should put it all back together again. Right.